Which true freshmen are absolutely balling out so far this spring? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Everything we've heard about this incoming group of freshmen is that they are the real deal, from former players to sources, people connected with the program. Everyone is in love with this recruiting class that Georgia signed back in December. A few guys are still heading to Athens this summer, but as far as the early enrollees, the guys who are, participating in spring practice now, a lot of guys that you'll see at G-Day in a couple weekends, this group is really opening up a lot of eyes. I want to start by talking about Lawson Lucky a little bit. Georgia is a little, I don't want to say banged up at tight end, but they need these guys to play. And Lawson Lucky, from what we were told, had 3 big touchdowns in the scrimmage this past weekend. Was told that he went up and snatched the ball out of the air with 2 guys kind of draped on him. Was told it was a beautiful throw by Brock Vandegrift, but Lawson Lucky went up and snagged the ball. Pierce Sperlin is out for the spring. He's the other true freshman tight end that they signed, who is already on campus. But in a scrimmage like this, you know what you're getting from Brock Bowers, right? There's not a whole lot of reason to really feed him the ball in a scrimmage like this. You want to see what you have with your other guys. And apparently Lawson Lucky had an excellent day, and he's a guy who I think might play more than people realize in the fall. He and Pierce Sperlin are going to have to battle it out for that number 3 job. Obviously, Brock Bowers, the best tight end in college football, maybe the best overall player in college football. You have Oscar Delp at number 2, and Georgia loves their tight ends. You're going to see these freshmen play in the fall. Lawson Lucky is the guy that people are absolutely raving about now. Saw him play multiple times back when he was at Norcross as a recruit. He's big. He can catch the ball. He's dangerous after the catch. Better athlete than people think, but he can block as well. But he's definitely a guy that people are really, really buzzing about, and he's coming off an excellent scrimmage. Damon Wilson, edge defender, 5-star for a reason. People love what he brings to the table. That's position that is, guys are able to play there. It's one where if you signed in this last class like he did, you knew that you were going to be able to push for playing time. There's a reason he signed with Georgia. Sam and Pimba, same, type of deal. You have to have pass rushers, right? You can't have too many. He's definitely a big-time pass rusher. Everyone talks about his bend, his ability to get low, get around these kind of bigger, thicker offensive linemen. If you're not an athletic offensive tackle, it's going to be tough to block this guy. And he is already making, noise as a true freshman. And again, that's a position that, playing time is kind of up for grabs. And he is fully taking advantage of his opportunity. We're told behind the scenes he's another guy who, we heard had a really, really good scrimmage. Raylan Wilson at linebacker, dude is just a missile. He could be the next great Georgia linebacker in the middle, being developed by Glenn Schumann. He was a top prospect for a reason, one of the top linebackers across the country. Quick, athletic, knows how to strike. He's great in coverage. He is a do-it-all linebacker who could play on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. Look for him to be the leader of Georgia's defense, not this year, but as time progresses. But he's going to make sure those veterans continue to work hard, because he's a guy who is going to see the field. They are not going to be able to keep him on the bench very long. And I know they've got the 2 starters, Jamon Dumas-Johnson, Small Munden. Jalen Walker is an excellent option as well at middle linebacker. He's a guy who I think can have a breakout season. But as far as the freshmen go, Raylan Wilson is really, really impressive. And we're told just, it's only a matter of time before he becomes a superstar. At safety, guy I've talked about for a while, Janelle Aguero, could be one of the guys in this class who sees the most playing time in the fall. He's another hard-hitting safety, excellent against the run. He will come down and pop you. He's a hard hitter, just a ball magnet. I mean, he gets to the ball carrier quickly, takes a great angle, can go sideline to sideline, can come from the back end and make plays behind the line of scrimmage. He is really, really impressive. And again, from Massachusetts, played at IMG Academy a little bit. Will Muschamp absolutely loved this guy. I believe Kirby Smart did too. They were on him early. They knew early in high school that this kid has the potential to be an absolute stud at safety. And, he's another guy that we continue to hear about. The ranking was, real. He was a 5-star for a reason, and he is showing it as well. Jordan Hall, defensive lineman out of Jacksonville, a guy who saw his ranking just increase more and more as his high school career progressed, and ended up being a 5-star. I'm looking at it right now from one outlet, top 50 player in the country. I've said for a minute now that this is, he's the closest to Jalen Carter that we've seen since Jalen Carter came to Athens. I'm not going to say he's going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. He might be. I don't want to go on record and say that just yet, but I think he has that type of potential and kind of game-changing, defensive lineman from the interior who can get after the quarterback, can, take a guy and just toss him, right? He's a big play interior defensive lineman, not a guy who's going to just eat up blocks and leave everything, to the linebackers and the edge defenders. He's going to make plays. He's going to get sacks. He's going to get tackles for loss. He is a big-time player and another guy who, we continue to hear about as someone who came in hungry, ready to work, ready to learn, and he is getting better and better by the day. A.J. Harris, cornerback, another 5-star guy, depending on what outlet you look at, but long, athletic, technically sound, great ball skills. He's a guy who continues to improve. Someone who I think that you're going to see a lot in mop-up duty games against, these lesser opponents when the game's over, at halftime. Look to see A.J. Harris in there, in plenty in the third and fourth quarter of those games that are already kind of blowouts. I don't think he's going to be pushing for, one of the starting jobs at cornerback, but he's a guy who I think is going to play a lot. Just reading some of my notes now. C.J. Allen, another linebacker who the staff apparently loves. Just tough, physical, again, does not miss a ton of tackles, loves contact, played running back and linebacker in high school. Dude rarely came off the field, and he's someone who wants to learn, and he gives a lot of effort. He's there to compete, work hard, get better, and he continues to impress, I've heard. So I think once Pierce Spurlin gets healthy, he's going to be a pass-catching machine at tight end. But Lawson Lucky, again, I mentioned him earlier in the video, but 3 touchdowns in the scrimmage for a freshman. Really impressive. I think he's going to have a big G-Day as well. Jamal Jarrett continues to lose some weight. I think he is someone that the staff is really excited about. Just a lane clogger, right? He's going to get in there and make it tough for opposing offensive linemen to open up holes between the tackles. Roderick Robinson, a running back, I think we're going to see a lot of him at G-Day. At a couple sources who watched that scrimmage, they were there and they said, hey, that freshman running back they got is big. He is a bruiser. He's going to run you over, basically, is what they said. He is tough to tackle and he's easy to notice out there. He might be the biggest running back they have on the roster. 6'1", 200 pounds. It's tough to miss that guy. So I think he's going to open up a lot of eyes. And I think Georgia fans after G-Day are going to be like, hey, this Roderick Robinson kid can play out of San Diego. He's a living legend out there after what he did. One of the best running backs to, high school running backs ever in San Diego. Come, sign with Georgia. And I think we're going to see a lot of him. They're banged up at running back, so his opportunity to shine is going to be there. I expect him to take full advantage of it. Hearing a lot about Anthony Evans, a guy who can absolutely fly. Yazid Haynes, another guy who I think the staff is really excited about. As I continue to got a couple text messages there that were kind of important, but he's a route runner and a guy who has come in and appears to be technically sound, knows what he's doing, quick feet, can get open, and I think the staff is really pleased with what they have there. I think they loved him more than the outlets who rank these kids. I think they're very happy with him. So. Overall, it's there's a lot of guys impressing. There really is. Monroe Freeling, I don't know how much he's going to play this year just because Georgia is loaded on the offensive line, but I think he has the potential to be a multi-year starter down the road. But I talked about how good this class was defensively, talked about over and over and over again, and this could be Kirby's best defensive class that he signed. And so far, a lot of these guys are living up to the hype. And I know it's early, and I don't expect these guys to come in and, win starting jobs. But, Damon Wilson is going to flash, and he's going to impress. Raylan Wilson, again, I think could be a multi-year starter in the next great middle linebacker at Georgia. Janelle Aguero might be the guy who plays the most on defense, just because I think they could use a guy like him at safety, who can come down in the box and really, really pop, running backs. He is an intimidating defender and a guy I think the staff really, really likes. Again, Jordan Hall is going to make a big impact at some point. And, Sam Mpemba, another guy who his ceiling is sky high. He's not even close to reaching the potential that I think he's going to have in Athens. But overall, a lot of players are really impressing from that freshman class. It's an outstanding group, and I think at the end of the day, could be possibly Kirby Smart's best when we look at this class in a few years. But a lot of them impressing so far this spring, and I think we'll see a lot of them make big plays at G-Day in a couple weeks. So thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I will see you over on Dog Post.